At the May 18th Lansing City Council meetings, Council approved the city's budget for the 2026-2027 fiscal year, which spans from July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2027. They gave a tribute recognizing May 19th as Malcolm X Day in the City of Lansing. May 19th was Malcolm X's birthday. City Council unanimously approved a letter calling for an immediate end to the unauthorized federal military escalation and an unlawful war with Iran. In public comment, we heard from residents of the Fabulous Acres neighborhood plead with council to help them with some extremely inconsiderate neighbors. And commenters brought stories of struggles with homelessness and the destabilization resulting from camp sweeps performed by city police officers with no safe options for relocation. There's a disclaimer for a brief mention of self-harm. Welcome to What Lansing Council, a podcast transforming Monday night's Lansing City Council meetings into an enthralling recap. I'm your host, Jill Dombrowski, and today we're just going to get right into the meeting recap. So this is May 18th. All council members were present at the Committee of the Whole and the regular meeting. Our Lansing City Council representatives are Ryan Cost, representing the 1st Ward, Dayanara Navarez-Martinez of the 2nd Ward, Adam Hussein of the 3rd Ward, Peter Spatafor, Council President of the 4th Ward. Our 4 at-large members are Tamara Carter, Jeremy Garza, Clara Martinez, and Council Vice President Trini Pelivanoglu. Also at the meetings was Greg Venker, the City Attorney. Sherry Boak is the Recording Secretary. She's present at the Committee of the Whole. And Deputy Mayor Christopher Mumby was there on the Mayor's behalf for both meetings. At the Committee of the Whole, there was not much discussion. They passed the proposed budget and an ordinance re-adopting the codified ordinances from the Committee of the Whole into the regular meeting. It was 4 minutes long. Most of that was Councilmember Pelivanoglu talking about why it's normal that they are not having big budget discussions in the meetings. They've had their discussions already, and everyone is playing nicely. At the regular meeting, we had Clerk Chris Swope replace Sherry Boak as the meeting administrator. First, there was a little more discussion of the budget in the regular meeting. Council President Spatafor thanks everyone for their active participation in the process. Council has presented their priorities to the mayor's office, and those included adding police positions, $1.5 million for sidewalk repair throughout the city, and a violence prevention coordinator position. And these are in the budget. Councilmember Hussein says, in the past, our budget priorities would go nowhere, but Mayor Shore is working with us. When I first joined council, there was only $200,000 for sidewalks, and now there is $1.5 million. And in addition to what Spatafor mentioned, we're also adding 3 jobs for firefighters. Deputy Mayor Mumby says, yes, it was a collaborative process. And also thank you to Jake Brower, the Chief Strategy Officer, for getting the council priorities into the budget. During public comment, there is one comment about the budget from a member of the local 421 Firefighters Union. This person says, thank you for keeping your promise to add more firefighting jobs. We have seen a 40% increase in call volume over the past 6 years, I think, with flat staffing increasing. There's still work to do, but we want to recognize the progress that was made today. Next, we had members of the Malcolm X Community Commission come into the well. This was a real highlight of the meeting, some positive camaraderie. The City Council was recognizing the life and legacy of Malcolm X, who spent some formative years growing up in Lansing and was married at Lansing City Hall. He was honored by Councilmember Tamara Carter as an African-American leader who continues to inspire generations to challenge injustice and fight for civil rights. Delisa Fontaine of the Neighborhood Department received the tribute, and she said that Malcolm X stood tall in a world that tries to shrink you, and he is a reminder that Black people will define themselves, not be defined by others. Deputy Mayor Mumby gave an update on behalf of the Board of Water and Lights, BWL's, response to the quick thunderstorm system that blew through earlier in the day. Mumby said that 3,700 buildings lost power, and the BWL has already resolved 2,000 of those. And most are single home outages, so it's kind of a lot of work to go to each one, but they're getting it done. If you have tree branches that fell into your road or sidewalk, the best way to contact the city about those is to use the Lansing Connect app on your phone, or you can bag things up yourselves in the normal way for tree branch collection. There was one public comment related here. Someone had a local power outage on a different day, a clear day, and this person is saying that BWL needs to notify folks. He thinks it was because of construction in the area, and if this was the cause, there should be consequences for the outages. Deputy Mayor Mumby also said congratulations to Fire Marshal Jared Nish. He has been named the National Fire Protection Association Fire Marshal of the Year for his data-driven approach to meeting community needs. A public hearing on setting a city tax and debt dashboard then occurs. This dashboard will be updated semi-annually. The charter has mandated this dashboard to be created, and it will show on a publicly available website every millage the city levies and every city debt instrument. And this will be live in August, so we'll look forward to checking it out then. There was one public comment here. The city is mandated to provide infrastructure, but there should also be a similar mandate for community development and economic development. Also, the infrastructure changes of late have been modest. We could be having bigger and better infrastructure changes. Next, Councilmember Cost brings forward a letter saying the federal Congress is responsible for declaring war, and they have not. This is affecting Lansing residents by driving costs of gasoline, groceries, and utilities up, and the Lansing City Council calls for an end of this unlawful war with Iran. There's no council discussion here. They are all in favor of the letter. There are two public comments on this. One says the Iran war is unnecessary under the guise of freeing Iranians from tyranny of theocratic government, but it's just to protect our own oil interests. And I don't want to be drafted, and we need to stay out of the Middle East, and the war is killing innocent people. Another commenter says, you all don't know enough about the war. Iran cannot be allowed to have nuclear weapons. I do not like the president at all, but it's time for us to back up and let the federal government fight the federal wars. And the meeting concluded with a few more public comments. 3 friends and neighbors from Fabulous Acres neighborhood, which is southeast of Reotown between Washington Ave and Cedar and north of Mount Hope, talked about one household in their neighborhood that has become a public nuisance. It is negatively affecting the surrounding public health of the neighbors. These folks say that these neighbors are being loud and dangerous at all times. They have had their car tires popped 3 times. There are 10 people living in the house who never sleep. The music is so loud it knocks things off of their walls, and there is drug use. The police have told them to get cameras, which they have, and they have so many videos of egregious actions, handing out drugs, driving over the lawns of neighbors, and setting things on fire. One person is selling their house in response to this issue. Another has had a member of their household attempt to commit suicide because they have not been able to sleep. And I think they said this has been going on for 6 years, and the police are not helping them, and they just don't know what else to do. Then there are some comments from people saying the housing crisis is real. Every camp swept is a political choice. You have a choice, and now is the time for big creative solutions, so let's hear them. Another commenter says, concerning the modular pod project that has been discussed for the greater part of a year now, and this is where the city has purchased a number of smaller housing units to be used to set up a sanctioned place for people to have temporary housing. So this person is saying, this does not seem like it's going to be ready for the winter. We have to have a safe place for people to go this winter. Allowing people to sleep in their cars without being harassed or removed is something that you could do. Someone died last week because their temporary home was swept away by the police. This is going to continue to happen. This is not an issue that is going to go away. Are you working as hard as you can behind the scenes on this? If so, involve the community. We want to help. There is an unhoused person there giving a comment. This person said, I dumpster dive for stuff and have built a bike and other necessities all on my own. I work to clean up the parks. I'm constantly picking up needles in city parks, and people need a safe place to be. Our world is a product of us, and we are a product of our world. It costs nothing to help people out, and it starts with you, Council. I believe in you, and I thank you for allowing me the privilege of talking to you. Someone else says, we have been working with the homeless for years, and many have problems, but they are not troublemakers. This person says, I have recently become homeless due to the city red tagging procedures. I had some utility, I think this is what this person said. They had some utility turned off at their house and it was red tagged. The police came and kicked a water pipe, causing the house to flood, and there have been 2 break-ins since then, and now the house is ruined. Another commenter said, thank you for some of the work that you have done to try to hold landlords accountable and to modify the red tagging system. Under the new system, hopefully what happened to my friend's house will not happen again. Please allow us to help you and let us lead collaboratively. I'm giving the Best Hair Award to an attendee sitting in front of me. This person had dreads tied up on the top of their head that were wrapped in red, white, and blue ribbons. You can check out the Patreon for the podcast for bingo results from each meeting. The next meeting will be on June 8th. Thank you all for listening, and thank you to the Public Media Center for letting us record with you. And upcoming, we have a live show at the Robin Theater. It will be a discussion of citizenship, and that is going to be on June 2nd from 6 to 8 p.m., and I'm really excited to see you all there. Thanks again.